After a fairly dominant-looking sweep of the Reds in the NL Wildcard Series, the Dodgers move on to the NLDS. But this time, they're not playing a team that barely got into the playoffs in Game 162. They're facing the Philadelphia Phillies, the second best team by record in all of baseball. It's Dodger Dogs versus Cheesesteaks, Rob Lowe versus Miles Teller, Stoked Brah versus Johns. In their postseason history against each other, the Phillies are 13-9 against LA. The Dodgers won the 77 and 78 championship series, but the Phils took all the recent head-to-head matchups in 83, 2008, remember Matty Stairs, and 16 years ago in 2009. Of late, the two squads are pretty even. Since 2023, the Dodgers lead all teams with 304 wins, including the postseason, and the Phillies are second with 290. They both have high-powered MVP-winning offenses and fantastic starting pitching. The series, starting on Saturday night on TBS, should go all 5 games in the best-of-5 game set. Maybe they'll even add another game, because that's just what the people want. Here are some of the major things to look out for in this NLDS Classic. First, of course, there is Shohei Ohtani. He went 3 for 9 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs at the plate in the wildcard series. But for the first time ever, he'll be pitching in the postseason, in Game 1. Ohtani was electric in his return to the rubber this season. He tied a career best with 11.9 Ks per 9 in his 14 starts, putting up a 2.87 ERA. With all of LA and an entire country cheering him on, he'll go up against Christopher Sanchez, who's been brilliant in 2025. The 6'6" lefty went 13-5 with a 2.50 ERA, striking out 212. His 8.0 B WAR was the best of any pitcher in the NL. It should be an epic Game 1 duel. After that, the Dodgers could elect to go with Tyler Glasnow in Game 2 or maybe Blake Snell again. He'd be on 5 days rest, an embarrassment of riches. The Dodgers also showed how deep their bullpen has gotten, adding Roki Sasaki as an 101-mile-per-hour late-inning option. Oh, and Dave Roberts has said that a future Hall of Famer, Cy Young MVP-winning starter could return to the DS roster and provide relief in this round. You know, that guy Clayton Kershaw. The Phils will likely have Ranger Suarez and Jesus Luzardo for Games 2 and 3. Suarez, Mr. Reliable, put up a 3.20 ERA in 2025 and probably had his best year as a full-time starter. Luzardo, a fireballer, had an up-and-down season but struck out 216, and the Phils hope he can catch lightning for at least 5 innings. There's seasoned postseason vet Walker Buehler, who's pitched well down the stretch and could provide big relief out of the pen. There's Matt Strom, and there's, of course, one of the hardest throwers in the game in Johan Duran. The Phils might not have as much firepower in the pitching as the Dodgers, especially with Zack Wheeler out for the year, but they might just have enough. Hitting-wise, the teams are even more even. The Phils have former 2-time MVP Bryce Harper. They have a guy who does nothing but eat hoagies and crank dingers in Kyle Schwarber. And they have the NL batting champ in Trey Turner. Turner spent most of September on the IL with a hamstring issue, but if he's healthy and getting on base, the Phils could be tough to stop. Alec Boehm, Brandon Marsh, and Bryson Stott all also hit better than 300 during the last few weeks of the regular season. Carrying that into October could really lengthen their lineup. And don't forget about human spark plug Harrison Bader. The trade deadline acquisition has been a huge weapon for Philly down the stretch and seems to enjoy the spotlight and rabid fans at Citizens Bank Park. The Dodgers have a 50 home run hitter / pitcher to match up with Schwarber and Ohtani. He hit 2 long balls in the wildcard round. Mookie Betts continued his late season surge last round, going 6 for 9 with 3 doubles in the series. And Teoscar Hernandez added 2 homers and 6 RBIs in round 1 against the Reds. If Max Muncy and Andy Paez can get going, the lineup gets even more dangerous. And there's Kike Hernandez, who just seems to turn to a completely different player once the calendar switches to October. Will Smith will likely be reserved to a pinch hitting role with his hand injury, but that's a 2-time World Series winning pinch hitter who knows how to hit when the pressure is at its highest. So, who's going to win? The Dodgers likely have the advantage on the mound, while the top 3 hitters in both lineups are nearly a wash, with both capable of having MVP level at-bats every time up to the plate. While the Dodgers are the defending champs and have the best player on planet Earth in Shohei Ohtani, I'm going to go with the Phillies in 5. They'll play games 1 and 2 at home and then game 5. And no team has a better record at home in playoff history than the Phils. They are 29-14 at Citizens Bank Park. Although home field advantage isn't always a deciding factor in baseball, that thunderous, nobody is louder than us Philadelphian fan base may just give them the edge they need.